We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Samechayam at Aleph and Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 165a. On the previous Amud, the Gemara brought a statement from Rav. Rav said there are three Averos that people commit every day, and one of those Averos was the Aver of Lashon Hara. And the Gemara in the previous Amud asked, is it really true that people speak Lashon Hara every day? And the Gemara says, Ella, rather, we're not referring to Lashon Hara proper. Rather, we're referring to Avak Lashon Hara. We're referring to the dust, so to speak, of Lashon Hara. And what that refers to is the kinds of speech that might not be Lashon Hara directly, but they have a hint of Lashon Hara, there's a trace of Lashon Hara, that people commit every single day. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, Rov begezel, the majority of people, they succumb to the sin of gezel, of stealing. Umiyot ba'arayas, a minority of people, they succumb to arayas, illicit relationships. Va'akol b'lashon hara, and everybody succumbs to the sin of lashon hara. Again, the Gemara asks, b'lashon hara salkadaitach, does it really mean lashon hara that everyone succumbs to lashon hara? Ella, rather, what it means to say is, again, avak lashon hara means the dust of lashon hara. When people speak and there's a hint, there's a trace of the sin of lashon hara. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, Hakol Kaminag HaMedina. Rav Shimon ben Gamliel says that it all follows the local custom in terms of writing a star that's a regular star or a star mekusher. And the Gemara says, V'tanakama lesle minag Medina. Does the Tanakama not agree with this concept of minag Medina, following the local custom when it comes to mekusher or a regular star? And the Rashbam explains, V'tanakama lesle minhaga de Medina bitmiya. The Gemara is asking this as a question. Im Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel bo lomar shadine pashatu mekusher hamefurashin latanakama im yesh Medina shenoagu l'shanos dinam. If Rav Shimon ben Gamliel is coming to say that, let's say there's certain laws by pashat and mekusher, and let's say there's a certain local custom that's a little bit different, ben Yenacher, they do it a little differently when it comes to mekusher, let's say, hakol kaminag hamedina, that Rav Shimon ben Gamliel is saying we should just follow the local custom. V'alo tanakama nami moda. But the Tanakama also, he would agree with that as well. Everyone would agree you should follow the local custom in terms of, let's say, how a shtar mekusher should look. So therefore the Gemara is asking, what exactly is the machlokes between the Tanakama and Rav Shimon ben Gamliel in the Mishnah? And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Ashi says, the Mesoras Hashas says, according to the Rashal, the proper girsa is not Rav Ashi, but is Abaya. In any case, Amar Rav Ashi says, Bi'asra de nihigi pashut, in areas, in locales, where the custom is to write a regular document. V'amar le avid li pashut, and the person says, I want you to write me a regular document. V'azal avid le mekusher, and then the sofer goes ahead, and he writes a shtar that's mekusher. Let's say we're talking about a gerisha, for example. Let's say we're talking about a divorce document. So kapeda, so there we say certainly the person is makbid, he wants it specifically to be pashut, and therefore the mekusher, that get mekusher will be no good. Nihigi mekusher, let's say you're in a place where the custom is to have a shtar mekusher. V'yamar le avid li mekusher, and he says, that's how I want it, I want you to make a mekusher. V'yazal avid le pashut, and then the scribe goes ahead and makes a pashut, makes a regular document. Kapeda, there also, he's makbid, it has to be in the way that he said it, and this will not be a good document. Kipligi, when do they argue? Meaning, when do the Tanakam and Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, when do they argue in our Mishnah? Bi'asr de nihigi b'pashut u'mekusher. We're talking about a place where they have both kinds of documents. They have regular documents, they have mekusher documents. V'yamar le avid li pashut, and he says to him, I want you to make me a pashut. V'yazal avid le mekusher, and then he goes ahead and makes a mekusher. The idea over here is that mekusher is even more fancy. It could be that what he meant was, even if you just make me an ordinary document, that's good enough. And it could be he was saying that mekusher would also be good. That's the machlokus. Mar savar kpeda, one says that he's makbid, umar savar mara mokum hulo, and the other one says that he was just giving a mara mokum, meaning to say, according to the Tanakama would say in this case, kpeda, he said that he wants it to be that particular way. He said he wants it to be as a pashut, and therefore mekusher is not going to be good. But Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, he holds mara mokum, he holds that he was just saying you can even make it like this if you want. If you would like to make it this way as a pashut, that's fine with me. The fact that he went ahead and made a mekusher does not disqualify, according to Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. That's what Rav Shimon ben Gamliel means when he says Hakol Kaminag HaMedina. And the Gemara continues, Amar Abaya says, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, Rav Shimon and Rav Elazar, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, Rav Shimon and Rav Elazar, Kulu Sfira Lahu, they all hold of this concept of Mara Mokum Hulo, they all hold of this idea of Mara Mokum, that sometimes the person is not strict about the instruction, they're just giving a certain indication or a certain piece of advice. And the Gemara continues and explains, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel Hadiyam, and Rav Shimon ben Gamliel is what we just said, that it's just Mara Mokum. When he says that I want you to make it a pashut, he just means you could make it a pashut, but mekusher would also be good. Rabbi Shimon, we see this in Rabbi Shimon as well, Datnan, as we learned in a Mishnah. And this is a Mishnah in Kiddushin, and the case over here involves a situation where a woman appoints an agent, she appoints a shliach to accept a Kiddushin, and then the wrong kind of coin is given over as the Kiddushin. She thought it would be one kind of coin, it was a different kind of coin. So Rabbi Shimon says in this case, Imhita l'shevach, if what happened was she was misled, but she actually got a better kind of coin, Harezu mukudeshes, this is considered to be a good Kiddushin, meaning we interpret those instructions as not being that I'm only having a good Kiddushin, it will only be a good Kiddushin if it's this kind of coin. It means it has to at least be this kind of coin. But if it's a better coin, that certainly would be good as well. According to Rabbi Shimon, that's the idea of Mara Mokum Hulo. The instructions were not strict. It didn't have to be exactly like that. And the Gemara continues with Rebbe Lozer. Rebbe Lozer, the Tanan Rebbe Lozer, we see in the following Mishnah. And this is a Mishnah in Gita, and the Mishnah says, Ho'isha she'amra hiskabel li giti mimakam ploni. If a woman, again, she's appointing an agent to receive my get from me in a particular place, v'kiblu lo mimakam acher, and then they accept it for her in a different place, puzzle, it's disqualified according to the Tanna Kama. For Rebbe Lozer Machshin, Rebbe Lozer says that's still kosher. Again, she wasn't strict that it has to only be that place. She was trying to give some guidance where the person would be able to receive the get. Again, Marsavar Kapeda, the Tanna Kama holds that she was strict. It had to be in that particular place. Marsavar, and the other one, meaning Rebbe Lozer, holds Maramokum Hulo, she was just giving him a place to go, showing him the direction, but she was not strict that it be that particular location. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Pashat shekasa bo eid echad v'chulu. If you have a regular star and it just has one witness, or let's say you have a star makusher and it only has two witnesses, that is not going to be kosher. And the Gemara says, Bishlama makusher shekasa bo shnei edim pasal. I understand why the Mishnah had to say that if you have a star makusher with two witnesses that it's pasal. It's necessary to teach that. Because one might have thought, since in general a document with two witnesses is kosher, hachanami kosher, maybe over here also it's kosher. Kamashmal on the puzzle. So the Mishnah is teaching that a makusher with only two witnesses is puzzle. It needs to have at least three witnesses. But when it says in the Mishnah that a regular star, if it has one witness, it's puzzle, pshita, that seems obvious. Of course you need to have at least two witnesses. And the Gemara continues and answers. Amar Abaya, Abaya says, Lo nitzrucha da'afilu eid echad b'chsav v'eid echad b'peh. What's necessary to teach in the Mishnah is actually the Mishnah saying, even if you have one witness signed on the document, and let's say you have one witness that testifies orally, the witness is able to testify, let's say, to the loan. This other witness saw the loan, so now you have a document with one witness about the loan, and you also have one witness testifying to the loan. So you might have thought that that would be kosher. That's what the Mishnah is saying. Even in that situation, it is going to be puzzle. It is not going to be kosher. And the Gemara continues with an alternate view. Ameimar achshir b'yeid echad b'chsav v'yeid echad al peh. Ameimar said it's okay if you have one witness written down on the document, signed on the document, and you have one witness testifying in front of the court. That actually is sufficient. Amar le Rav Ashi li Ameimar. Rav Ashi said to Ameimar, v'hadi Abaya mai. Well, what are you going to do with the teaching of Abaya? Abaya said that it's not good. It's not kosher in such a situation. Amar le said back to him, Lo shmieli, I didn't hear that opinion of Abaya. Kilomer, what he was really saying when he said I didn't hear it, lo svirli. He meant to say that I don't agree with it, I don't hold of what Abaya said. But the Gemara continues, Elakasha, but then we do have a difficulty from our Mishnah. We're back to the question in our Mishnah. Doesn't it seem obvious that if you have an ordinary star with one witness, that it is not going to be good, and you can't answer that we have an additional witness that is testifying orally? That's not a good answer according to Ameimar, because Ameimar said that actually would be good. So what is the Mishnah teaching when it says, again, that if you have a document with one witness, it's no good? It seems so obvious, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf 165a Amud Beis.